This tutorial will show you how to use Moodle as a clicker system in order to support audience response activities in your classroom. Okay, so here's the overview. We're going to, on your Moodle course page, we're going to enable completion tracking. And then we're going to use the feedback activity to create a place for students to submit a multiple choice response. And then thirdly, you're going to use the Moodle's duplicate feature to make as many feedback activities as you need. So if you need 5 audience response questions, you will be able to quickly create 5 feedback activities once you've created a template. Okay, so the first step is head to your Moodle course page. And once there, you're going to designate a section in the course. In this case, I just called this Class Activities. This is for January 28th. And you could name it anything, perhaps the name of the faculty person who's doing the teaching, or perhaps the topic that's covered that day. But I'm just calling mine Class Activities for January 28th. So the next step would be I'm going to go down to the Course Administration block and go over here to Edit Settings. And I want to enable completion tracking, and this will help me access a report later on to see who participated, to be able to quickly see who participated in the activity. And I could use that to make it part of their grade if I wanted to. Okay, so I'm going to go over here down to the course. I'm going to go over to, here's the completion tracking section. I'm going to change the no to yes, and I'll hit save changes. And okay, so the next step is I need to create a feedback activity. So I'll go over here to add an activity or resource. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to choose the feedback activity. I'm going to click add. And for the name here, I'm going to keep this real simple. I'm going to just call this, it might help if I attach the date to it. So I'll do January 28th, question 1. And then I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go down here to question submission settings. Record usernames. So if you certainly want to track their participation or even what their answers were, I'm going to click here. I'm going to select users' names will be logged and shown with the answers. But if you wanted to make an anonymous activity, you could do that also. I'm going to do this. Allow multiple submissions. For now, I'm going to just leave that at no. And I'm going to go down here and hit save and display. Oh, it does require 1 character of text. So I'm just going to put a hyphen here, and I'll hit save and display. And then to create a place for them to submit their response, I need to go to the Edit Questions tab. And I'm going to select here. I'm going to go down and select the multiple choice option. There are some other options that you can experiment and play with, but I'm going to just do multiple choice for now. And then question here, I'm going to keep this very general and generic, because the way you're going to set this up is you're going to put your question on your PowerPoint slide, which the students will see in class, but then when they go to the Moodle course page, they're going to input their multiple choice response there. So I'll just say input your response below. And then down below, I'll just simply have A, B, C, D, E. You can, basically put as many options as you need. I don't think I'll have any multiple choice questions that exceed option E, so I'll just leave it at this. So I'll hit save question. Okay, so when the students go to respond to your multiple choice question, they'll see something that looks like this, and they'll just select their response, and then they'll have a submit button as well. So let's see. So I'm going to go back to the course page here, and for this activity, I'm going to need I'm going to include 3 audience response questions in the lecture. So I need 2 more of these. So I'm going to simply go over here to the edit option. I'm going to select duplicate. And then I'll do that again. I go down here and hit duplicate again. And maybe I'll do 4 questions for this lecture. So go ahead here and duplicate one more time. There we go. Okay, so now I need to go back and just make a slight change to the names here. I'm going to click the pencil icon over here. Of course, I'm in edit mode. I'm going to change that to a 2. I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard, and that'll input the change. Okay, so now I've got 4 places for the students to input their responses. If I want to control when they can access, when they can input the answers to the questions, I'll just simply go over here and select hide on each one. Okay, so currently all of these feedback activities are hidden to the student view, and so when I get to a point in the lecture when I want them to answer a multiple choice question, I will click on the edit menu, click show, then they can access it, maybe give them 2 minutes or however long they need to, what's appropriate for that particular question to input a response, maybe longer, maybe shorter. And then so I'll show it. And then after I give them some time to input their responses, I'm going to come back over here, then I will hide it. Then when I'm ready to see a graph or the data that's been collected, I'm going to click on the link to the question here, and I'm going to go over here to the analysis tab, and then I don't have any data collected at this point, but I would see a horizontal bar graph here indicating how many students chose each option and what percentage of the class chose each option. And as it's useful, I can click the Export to Excel button to export their responses to an Excel spreadsheet and do some further work with that. Also, if you would like to access a report that shows which students completed all 4 activities on one Excel file, you can simply do this and go down to the course administration block. And in the course administration block, one of the headings is reports. So I'm going to click the triangle there, and one of the options here is activity completion. And when I go to the activity completion report, I'll see a roster of the students in the course. It lists their email addresses. These email addresses could be used as unique identifiers to import the data back into the Moodle gradebook if that was ever useful. And then here I see a column for each of the 4 audience response questions that I used in class. And inside of each cell, if these students had participated in the questions, each cell would indicate if they had submitted a response or not. And if it's useful, again, I can export this to a CSV file, which is compatible with Microsoft Excel, if I'd like to use that for a grade or just look at their responses in a different format. Okay, so that's how you would set up a feedback activity, multiple feedback activities, and use those as an audience response activities in your course, and then eventually access a report to see who participated.